Welcome to The Full Experience. This show is an experiment to find out if you can watch just 4 episodes of any TV series and get the flavor of what that show is about, become culturally literate, maybe even act as if you've seen the entire run of the show. We are in the midst of watching Speed Racer, so we always watch the first, the ultimate, the lowest, and the last episode. This is the ultimate episode, the highest rated episode according to the people on IMDb, Season 1, Episode 20, The Fastest Car on Earth, Part 1, which first aired in 1967. I'm Tom Merritt. He's Brian Brushwood.
Hey, man, I assume since Speed Racer was all one season that it was all produced all at the same time, which is funny because, like, this being 20 episodes in, I want to make a comment that it feels like it grew into its own, although it almost certainly didn't grow. They probably were all created, give or take, at the exact same time.
I think you could still see growth because they made them one after the other, right? And so you start to learn by doing, and 20 episodes in, you've learned a few things about what works and what doesn't in the creation of an episode. Maybe you haven't learned it from audience feedback, but you still learn it, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, in this case, there are actually multiple protagonists and there's nested storylines. And I got to admit, I really liked it. I liked the fact that they began by withholding information and making it a puzzle. They kept to the character diamonds of our 2 primary stuff. We have Speed, who insists he's still not yet seeing that he could possibly be flawed. And his dad he's blaming the car still 20 episodes later. And his dad is saying, man, I don't think it's the car anymore. And then we have the seductive dream of what if Speed got his wish, but it's quite literally a haunted wish because the B plot, when we open on a Scooby-Doo looking background and they convey the idea that it's a spooky kind of too good to be true monkey paw haunted everything you could wish for engine. And then we see him lost in this toxic, intoxicating experience with the car, and it lands on a cliffhanger. And I'm hoping, actually, almost certainly not, because there's a reason this was the highest rated and not the next one. But I would hope that this would be an opportunity for growth for Speed Racer, but also they withheld the mystery of who's driving. Was it Racer X that turns out to be driving this? I'll never know.
We don't know. Yeah. We haven't met Racer X yet in our view. Maybe it's him. Maybe it's somebody else.
I thought this was way better in terms of substantive character development. And as a matter of fact, even the joke, single note joke characters. What is it? Chim Chim and the other one?
Yeah, Spritle.
Wait, what?
Chim Chim and Spritle. Chim Chim's the monkey. Sprite's the kid. Okay. Yeah. Yes, on paper, you are 100% right. I was bored to tears and kept rolling my eyes through this entire episode. I mean, yes, I guess a graveyard is technically a lonely section of town, which is in a lonely section of town. I'm like, yeah, it's a graveyard. Also, surprise crane shows up. And really, the ghost is a haunted engine? Come on.
Because think about it. It's power itself. I mean, that's what it represents is we have a flawed protagonist who wants power for power's sake. And he is convinced that there's nothing wrong with him, that it's just he hasn't gotten enough power. And this is the toxic moment that his wish is granted. And he accidentally, pays a terrible price, I assume.
Yes, that on paper makes perfect sense. And I can't dispute it. No, this episode did not land. I was quite bored. Maybe it's me. I'm perfectly willing to admit that. But I was just like, maybe the car didn't go as fast because Pops was in it and he's kind of heavy. Like, that ought to be worth a half a second right there.
Well, you guys also got your wish in that we got on-screen Pops kicking ass action.
We did. We got a little Pops fight scene. That was good. Quite an elaborate way to get a test monkey to hang sausages in a forest when you didn't know Chim Chim would be there, just in the hopes that maybe a monkey will come by and then you can lure him into the trunk of your car. And I think there might have been an easier way to get a test monkey.
So they left out the scene where Chim Chim walks by and then we see binoculars in the bushes or like in the radio saying, they
couldn't have just gone and bought a monkey. You could just buy monkeys,
No, they
You don't have
wanna,
to capture Chim Chim.
Well,
I was
no,
like,
but
they're
they
doing this
needed
on
a
purpose.
Driving monkey, which is
All right. Yeah, okay. I thought the idea was like they needed a monkey they could give the stuff to and then it could drive, but maybe I mistook that. Also, I found it funny that they called it the Spook Cemetery because it's spooky.
Yeah.
Then it's like one of the coldest lines I've ever heard in any kids show. When we planted Ben Carmen, not buried, not laid him to rest. They just full. And when we planted Ben Carmen, I didn't know the Mach 5 could fit 3 in the front either. That was interesting. And
Now this is doubly interesting because you recently took a tour of the Mach 5.
I did. Oh, yes, I did. Well, a version of me did. You're right. Yeah. On Sora. Also, when they did the close up of the engine, it's like 3 black lines and then like something that maybe is a piston. I don't know. It was fine. It wasn't better than the previous episode for me. I'm curious what Amos thought.
Well, Brian, what you said is accurate. If I were reading this story, if I were reading this story, this would make a compelling story. However, this story was not in a written form. It was in a visual medium where I've never taken notes on a full experience before. I took notes on this episode. So
let us have it. Go ahead, unload.
Okay. How much time are they going to waste with just the single cell on the screen for, I don't know, 20 frames at a time?
As many as they can.
All of them. They use the
20 episodes in. We got to save money.
They used the fewest cells possible in this episode. Like it was kind of ridiculous how much money they must have saved by only having the minimum animation required. You know, just repeating certain animations. Like I know that's what Speed Racer does. But this one seemed
even for Speed Racer, you were seeing it more. Yeah. I didn't really notice that, but I
love the casual kidnapping. Was that a meth spray? Like did they what was
meth spray? Oh no, that was the you mean the drug that made him into a good driver? Yeah.
And then he crashed afterwards. It sounds like meth to me.
Yeah.
He was really focused until he crashed.
Yeah.
And then later ended up working at the Yellowstone Ranch.
Pop Racers Fight Club actually really loved. They actually got into it a little bit. That was fun. Grand Theft Auto, that was cool. You know, just stealing cars. All right, and then I'm gonna read this just as I typed it because I was typing as I was watching the show, so I didn't have my full attention. Clutch, make, go fast. Because when he showed Speed Racer out of control, his foot was on the clutch.
Was on the clutch, not the gas. Yeah.
Or the emergency
He was trying
brake.
to slow down, Amos.
Yeah. So, yeah. Again, this would make a great short story. It did not make a good 30-minute cartoon.
It was a fine Speed Racer. I want to say that. Like, I'm not trashing Speed Racer. I just don't understand why this was the ultimate. But I think Brian explained it. Is like because it has the most structured story. It has all the pieces,
and there's no fat in it. I mean, first of all, it's all slow and it's all underwhelming for you guys. But
sure.
I mean, there's not a completely stapled on storyline, and it also does those core fundamentals. It gives a puzzle to crack immediately. It withholds information. It gives us a chance to project and imagine. What is the great and terrible price that Speed is going to have to pay?
None of my criticisms are of plot. So I think that's what you're pointing out is like, this is a very solid story. If what you're into, if your doorway is story, then this episode of Speed Racer is going to be enjoyable for you. Cause I'm talking about like things popping out of nowhere or like a logical inconsistency in a scene, but that doesn't affect the plot. That doesn't affect the story.
Yeah. Loved the story. Hated the animation, the cartoon, the pacing. I would rather have read this one.
Maybe we should try that.
That could be arranged.
like this would have been a great episode for a visual, like a comic, like frame by frame in each cells, reading
What
the
about
comic,
a lot
reading
of
it my own pace.
frames, so much so that they create the illusion of motion?
But they didn't though.
Well,
they had a lot of frames that were
so
just the
apparently
same
we just
frame.
needed a few more.
We just
I
needed
wonder
more
how
frames. Yeah.
I wonder how this actually might be a job for Sora to
For
have
Sora,
it interpolate.
Could you
frames.
interpolate more frames in here? See if this improves it for Amos.
All of a sudden, Amos loves it.
Yeah.
It would have helped. It definitely would have helped. Yeah.
Well, that is it for part ones. We had The Great Plan Part 1 as our premiere episode. This was The Fastest Car on Earth Part 1. We are going to watch the lowest rated episode next time, which is the 34th episode, The Race for Life. And there's no part 1 or part 2 on this one. So apparently this is our only self-contained episode. And then the finale, because it's the finale, is a part 2. So it'll be we'll finally get the second half.
I might sneak in watching the second half of this one just to see, because like the mere fact that I'm curious, whether or not they pay off.
Testament to the story. You want to find
evolving.
out. Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. That is season 1, episode 20, The Fastest Car on Earth Part 1. Like I said, next time we will watch season 1, episode 34, The Race for Life, the lowest rated episode of Speed Racer on IMDb. That is it for us. You get these episodes earlier, and you get to weigh on which series we watch if you're a patron. So if you're not already, become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/Cordkillers. We'll see you next time.